Good morning to my 6 subscribers. So today I wanted to talk about the rat race. But before I do that, I wanted to mention that YouTube, from what I've seen, is definitely in its infancy stage. And I think it's a wonderful thing that people can voice themselves and get whatever is inside out. It's very important for our society, as there's so much chaos going on today politically. I mean, just everywhere in the world. I mean, it's unbelievable what we're going through. And with these new tariffs that are going to hit us, and now signs of a possible recession coming, whatever. There's just so many topics to talk about. And I am here just, you know, just saying what I want to say. And even though I only have 6 subscribers, they are friends and family because I think Google suppressed my channel. So a little background on this. A year ago, I created a channel called Priceless Spits, and I spent 4 months creating 100+ B-rolls. And what that is my poems that I wrote. I turned them into a visual presentation through Artlist. They're based I believe in Israel, and I subscribed to them, and I pull raw footage and I apply that footage in Clipchamp and try to make a little mini production out of it, I don't know, 2 to 12 minute little videos that try to express what I'm saying through my poetry. So long story short, I made the fatal mistake of promoting my videos last year on this old channel that I recently deleted. And I paid thousands of dollars to YouTube and Google, which was a huge mistake. I had no idea what I was doing. And it turned out that 99% of my subscribers were bots. So lesson learned. So last month I created the Real Pill Poetry channel. And I think I have, 17 videos that I just posted. And I have 100+ more that I'm going to post. I just have to do these introductions to try to explain why I wrote these poems. So a few months after I created my old channel last year, I met with my primary doctor and I told him about it because I really thought I had real subscribers. And he immediately told me that it is bad for my health. And I'm like, why? And he said, because if you're a YouTube content creator, you're always going to be pushed to make new videos, to keep up with what your subscribers want. And that is the truth. And I have seen a few content creators recently that have gone viral, like, kirkytalks. I think he's based somewhere in Europe. And Stevejames. And they have great content, it's very real. And that's what people want. They want authenticity. But what I'm seeing is that, because one of their videos went viral, now they are being pushed to make something else or something relevant to the one that went viral. And, it's stressful. And I don't really want to be part of that. I like to write because my job is so stressful. And when I have time, I just like to get my thoughts down. And so what I'm doing is just creating some videos that might be entertaining for you, or you might be disturbed by it. But for me, it's red pill. It's what's real. So I've been in the corporate world for 30 years, grinding, slaving away in the trenches like many others. And I'm tired. It seems like the elites have mastered dangling the carrot and creating a system that keeps us in debt and keeps us just barely surviving every day. And that's fine. That's the real world. But you can't quit, and you have to keep grinding, 12+ hours a day, do whatever you can, whatever job you have. So back in the 90s, when I was in my early 20s, My company offered a matching program for our IRA retirement fund. And, all that's dead. There's no more matching from companies anymore. There's no more pensions unless you work for the city or state or some, federal job. And it's very disheartening. And, to close this gap. And when I say gap, I mean between the lower and middle class to the wealthy. The gap is not really closing. It's actually expanding, and it's making it more difficult for any of us to get ahead. And what's crazy is every time I feel like I get ahead financially, life shits in my face with a medical bill or a car repair or whatever it is. You just get one step forward and two steps back. I know that I'm stuck in the machine, but fortunately I work for a great company, a very ethical company, and one of the largest companies in my industry. And they do the right thing. And that's very important to me. The last couple years I've had recruiters and competitors trying to recruit me and take my book of business away from this company that I'm exclusively working for. And through my experience all these years, I know it's not greener on the other side. They keep selling me, oh, we have this, we have that, which is really no different than what I already have. And if I were to take that risk and make that change, it would be very risky because I don't know if what they're telling me is accurate. And most of the time, when companies do this and try to source out people from other companies, they're blowing smoke. They're over-promising shit and telling you that we're going to give you this, give you that, give you the support. And to me, it's all smoke and mirrors, total bullshit. So I'm not going anywhere. And I'm fine. I've been fortunate enough that I started sales when I was 18 years old, selling TVs and shit at Sears. And then I worked at Circuit City. And then I got this corporate job. And, the thing is that most people have this dream, this American dream that is dead. And that's all I've seen across the YouTube lately is the American dream is dead for good reasons because of the pensions that don't exist and, matching IRAs and all this. So you have to be very wise when you're young and invest and never pull out from your retirement funds when there's a crisis in your life. I mean, it's better to borrow money from family and friends than take money from your retirement. That's what I've learned, and that was my big mistake. So now I'm sitting here at 52 wondering if I'm going to work till I die. It seems like many of us are working so hard every day just to meet our expenses at the end of the month. And that's what they want. They want us to stay in debt because that is a tool to control us. And that's why my parents stopped using credit cards like 20 years ago. They just live off their debit cards and pull real cash from their bank. But credit cards, man, wow, is that a fraud? And if you don't pay it off by the end of the month, then you get hit with interest. And before you know it, you're just making minimum payments and, they are taking your money. So if I can go back in time, sure, I have regrets, but if I can go back in time, I would have changed things. But I didn't have the guidance or the knowledge back then. I think many of us are waking up now, seeing through all the bullshit, all the smoke and mirrors, and what's really going on in the world. And it's part of the matrix, it really is. I think people are aware of the fake news and all the bullshit out there. And for me, I don't take sides. I'm in the middle. And I think there's bullshit on each side. So instead of just living my life in ignorance and believing whatever side believes, I'm just an observer and getting through my life. But I think it's very important to focus on the present right now. What can you do to make your life better? And I think what that is focusing on work and not dwelling on the negativity from the news, but knowing what's going on, being aware. But you have to put in your time. You have to pay your dues. That's just the way the system is set up. You have to be kicking ass every fucking day and working, whatever job you have, and then try to upgrade whenever you can. Never go down the ladder, always go up. And I'm not talking about the corporate ladder. That's a whole nother ball game. I'm just talking about what you do for a living. Make it better and do what you can to move forward and not dwell on all the shit out there. Yeah, I'm repeating myself, but it's good to vent, and that's what YouTube is for. I'm not a big fan of Trump's character, who he is as a person, because he's a great white shark. But I love that he and Musk have told us that they have found corruption within our federal government. And I hope they find proof soon, because that will just give me confirmation. Over the last 25 years in the freight business, I've seen a ton of corruption. Everyone seems to lie. And the more you work in your industry, the more you can sniff out those people and the lies. You can see right through it. I say no a lot to trucking companies that want my freight. Not because they're a fraud, but because I don't think they're going to give me the service that I'm asking for. So after years of experience, you know the right questions to ask to know whether or not they're worthy of taking your business, taking your freight and moving it for you. And I've learned that the hard way. I've had a couple loads stolen. I've had carriers lie to me up front, and I was just ignorant to it or so stressed out. I gave them the load anyways. And then of course they were late on delivery and made up excuses. And sometimes I just swallow those excuses knowing it's bullshit. But you have to keep moving forward. And that's how business works. You have to pick and choose your battles and grind it through. And then the end result is what your customer wants. And if you can at least satisfy your customer, you can stay alive to grind another day. You have to start thinking about what is more important, your health or money. No one ever gave me anything. No one ever gave me any customers. The only customers that someone gave me were my customers that gave me a referral to their customer. Otherwise, I've been pretty much making cold calls for the last 30 years. But fortunately, I have a lot of consistent business that has paid my bills. But the reality is I'm not going to get any type of inheritance or be part of any trust fund. And now I understand why so many people will never sit in a cubicle and stare at a screen all day. The corporate world elites have mastered dangling the carrot to provide hope to those in need. Reel and jig, reel and jig. Here's the B-roll, and I hope it hits home. See you on the next one. The rich feed off the poor. Exploitation of labor laws. Bodies torn up and sore. The poor feed off the rich. Section 8 government subsidies and various charities. Both sides take advantage of the system. No more middle ground. And the middle class? Well, we just work harder and harder. The rich get richer. The poor get poorer. And the middle class gets squeezed. We chase the dangling carrot as we are promised lies we once believed. The golden handcuffs are obsolete, as well as loyalty and pension funds. Might as well hit delete. Mergers and consolidations continue. The broker, the middleman, isn't something new. We too are getting squeezed. There is no sign of relief. Amazon and technology will supersede. Humans will be replaced by this new need. Middle class no more, as the poor grows old and cold. Rats are in a chase. There is no escape. You are just running in place. The system is rigged. The bait is jigged. Reel and jig. Reel and jig. It is a spin of the wheel. There is no deal. No matter your will, no opportunity, just a seal. You are just a rat among all these bureaucrats. They are making the decisions. The choice is not yours, as you just stay tied up on the floors and ignored. Reel and jig, reel and jig. You continue to dig, trying to find that vein, but it's an illusion. There is no way out unless you get out of the game. This is not what life should be about. The corporate world is so lame. Rats are in a chase. Do you want to keep up the pace? That's the big question, as they stick that carrot in your face. I need to be set free, ignore all the greed, find my own happiness. This is the golden key.